Good morning, and welcome to Politics on the Rocks, your weekly dose of vitamin D. I'm your host, Nick. As always, joined with me, Chris.
Good evening.
Bookie.
Gloop.
Cameron.
Good day.
And our special guest.
Is High West Whiskey, double rye. What do we think of it, folks?
I actually don't even have a glass yet.
Oh, you don't?
The song that brought us in was Angel of the Night by the Steel Drivers. We keep forgetting to do that, and we have to keep adding it in at the end, and it's kind of frustrating.
I think it's good. No.
It's quite nice.
I like anything that's like unique like this. It has a different.
It's different.
Yeah, it's unique to its.
But
own
it's still like a rye taste.
Pour me a little of that. I got to finish this espresso here.
Yeah, it's definitely got some unique flavors, and it's
Yeah, it's good.
like different from any other rye I've had too.
Yeah.
And it hits a little harder than I thought the 80 proof would. Right?
Yeah,
Is it only 80 proof?
Yeah.
it's 80 or 90. I'm not sure.
46% alcohol.
Okay, so
Okay, so 90.
Yeah, it's like
90s.
not necessarily hot, but it's got like a really strong like mouthfeel, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? It's like a sharp flavor.
it feels like my mouth is full of something.
Oh Jesus.
Anyway, this week we're going to be talking about mainly Daddy D stuff, right? We got. So I think these are they're going to be pretty fun topics to cover. Governor Desantis, he is talking about starting a state guard, which is different from the National Guard in that it's made up of the civilian population. So I think that's pretty cool. That'll be fun to talk about because we can get into some, states' rights versus federal rights kind of things. And, yeah. We're also going to be talking about another DeSantis notion that he wants to give tax money to businesses that openly defy the vaccine mandates coming down from the federal government. So that will also be another fun one. And we forgot to do it last week. I don't know why. We just did. Our based bro of the week is Tate Meyer of Michigan. He was a student. He was a football player for the Oxford High School that recently had a school shooting, killing, I think the number's up to 4 as of today. I don't suspect that number will rise, but killing 4, injuring however many. He was a football player for that team, wore the number 42. Yeah, and he basically put himself in harm's way to, potentially save classmates, and ultimately gave his life. Cool, something pretty cool. The team they went on to win so his football number was 42. The team went on to win 42-3 for a Big Ten championship game. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Whether you believe in God and signs or not, that's still pretty cool.
I'm confused by that. Is that Michigan?
No, it's a high school game.
Oh, I guess they have a Big Ten.
Yeah, I would assume it's some sort of
because Big Ten's a college conference. So.
Yeah, I realize that. That's what it says here, though. Big Ten arrived with the 6th of Michigan's touchdown Saturday arrived with a little more than a minute remaining in the Big Ten championship game.
Oh, I guess they're talking about Michigan then.
Oh, yeah, the number 2 Wolverines didn't need it to win or to demonstrate the superiority. Yeah, whatever. I don't know shit about football, but hats off to that lad for doing what most people won't,
Yeah.
And for that, Tate, you're our base bro of the week for whatever that means. Whatever that's worth.
That's a great honor.
Yeah, it is.
We should get medals and start sending them out. Posthumously.
That's like the greatest form of love, right? Is to lay down just quick little scripture, because that popped in my head when you're talking about our base bro of the week, but it's John 15:13. Greater love has no. Oh, excuse me. Let me read this translation. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Pretty powerful, man. Powerful to give your life for your friends,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
powerful, man.
It says a lot about, your character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when the shit hits the fan,
Yeah.
you're that.
Like, yeah, I can say for certain if anything happens, I'm going to be the first out the door. No,
I'm going to be in the parking lot.
Yeah, you guys are definitely on your own.
Yeah. That's it.
As soon as that alarms go off, so you just hear skirt, neck's pulling out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, either when nobody's watching or in a situation like that is like when your integrity really shows.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like...
Right, when you know that whatever you do won't be seen.
Right.
You know?
That's, I think, is like another form of like where, real integrity is shown. Also when like shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
And you're like the person standing there and not running away. You
Yeah.
know, there's something to be said about that.
Character shows.
Yeah.
Also means that you got a big ass set on you. It's just wanging between them thighs.
Yeah, it could be
or ankles. Or knees. Well, you know?
It's probably how you got hit. It's just so massive.
Jesus. Isn't it kind of funny that we like...
All right, next subject.
No, but isn't it funny that we connect like a big package with having like a lot of courage?
Yeah.
Like, what is
Especially because like that would just increase your vulnerability, right? If you had a big
Like I just said.
ball sack.
Yeah.
Just a massive
Or
target.
like, if
Maybe
anything, like you'd have a lot of testosterone and probably be like kind of stupid.
Yeah, or maybe like
I don't know.
you physically can't run away, so you just have to fight, you know?
Yeah.
It's like from South Park. He's got like a wheelbarrow. That he's got.
I mean, hey, it's one of those things, right?
Yeah. You never know.
All right, Boogie, you want to jump us into our first topic?
Yeah, do you want to go straight into the hot one? Or Dumbledore's army, or you want to take a small one first?
Well, yeah, go into that one, and then we'll talk about we'll break it up with a smaller off-topic one.
Okay, so the first topic we'll talk about is DeSantis' army, or as I like to call it, Dumbledore's army, coming to Florida.
I like how every week there's you have like a new nickname in the notes for DeSantis.
Yeah. So like Nick said at the beginning of this episode, so what he's doing is a state guard, which is different than a national guard. It's different in a couple meaningful ways, mainly that the National Guard is dual controlled by the state and the federal government.
Oh, it's a video on the... Go ahead,
So it is different. So the state guard would be completely controlled by the state. They would have no funding from the federal government. It would have no control by the federal government. And he's starting out. He wants $3.5 million to start up costs. Train people, get it all set up, and with 200 people. So that's, again, the beginning was what he wants to do. He's looking to push this through or get it pushed through to have it started. And I know before you guys get into a lot of stuff, if you saw anything, the opposite side was kind of going, oh, this is crazy. What is he doing? He's making a private military force for himself. He's a dictator. He's going to march on to D.C., which, hey, if he does that, whatever. But
there's 22 other states that have something similar.
This is and New York and California are two of them.
Yeah, and Texas, go figure.
Yeah. So this is a very common thing where almost 50% of the states have it.
It's crazy that they're even, pushing back against this, because this is literally this is a type of militia that our country was founded on. It was even more decentralized than this. Like, this is a militia that would be controlled by the state, which, based on the Constitution, that's like what they meant by the Second Amendment, in my opinion, is like the type of militia that they're forming here.
Oh, for sure.
Militia controlled by the state.
Right.
But, during the revolutionary period, it was like way more decentralized than that. You just had like 25 guys from like a town,
Right.
It's also interesting, I didn't know this until reading this, in 1941 during World War II, there was actually a Florida State Guard that was created to fill the void when the National Guard was sent to help, fight World War II. So it's not, this isn't something outlandish that, he's doing, some people might want to jump to conclusions and think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely come from a point of view where this is something he knew what the other side was going to say about him.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly why he did it.
Yeah.
I honestly, he might say otherwise, maybe he's right, but I don't think he did it because he's going to react faster to the next hurricane crisis or blah, 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 whatever happens. I think he knew, hey, if I do this, I'm going to get one, because no matter what he does now, the left and the opposite side of him is going to hate him.
Especially because he's a possible candidate.
Well,
right?
Supposedly in like next 10 years probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly because now he's the biggest poster child to be against the current establishment, Biden administration. But he knows if I do this, they're going to hate me no matter what I do. I could sacrifice unvaccinated children in the streets and they would still hate me. So I'm going to do this. My side's going to get pumped because I'm doing something that the left's going to hate. Mm-hmm. And it's going to boost his, fucking Desantis makes an army now. That's awesome.
Yeah,
and all the memes come out.
This is one of those things that they're going to get riled up about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's perfectly legal, perfectly justified, in my opinion. So, it's kind of crazy that they're pushing so hard against it. When, like you said, all of their, Democrat-controlled states have the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like a play out of Trump's book, Mm-hmm. Like you do things that know it's going to get a lot of attention and a lot of negative attention from the other side, but dude, I mean, Trump, a lot of the stuff that he said, which was a lot of stuff that was really stupid, right? And you wouldn't necessarily agree with it, but it got a lot of negative press, but it worked out for him 9 times out of 10. Which is surprising, but it's almost like a play, if that is what is happening, what you said, book, it is almost a play out of that book. It's let's do something to rile up my base and get a lot of attention.
Yeah, own the libs while you're also getting support from your side. It's worth noting that this is an announcement that's kind of on the heels of a broader rollout that DeSantis is pushing, which includes $100 million in funding for the National Guard to establish 3 new armories, build a new headquarters for the National Guard, counter drug program, and also provide support for guardsmen seeking higher education degrees.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That was actually, reading through this, that's the biggest takeaway I took from this. Is you could even say this is his smokescreen, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
And then now he's $100 million to the National Guard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I looked up their budget, their annual budget. Let me see here, and it's $454 million from federal funds a year and $18 million from the state. So he's increasing the $18 million to $100 million for this year.
Yeah. Huh.
And yeah, obviously we all scoffed at the counter drug program that he's initiating.
Yeah, we're all on Team Drug on that,
which is
side of the war.
So it's
side of the drug war.
So it's he does this thing where the right's going to get super bolstered by fuck yeah, this is great. But if you don't read further beyond the headline, you don't see he's using $100 million more dollars of taxpayer money to go towards the thing that's mostly controlled by the federal government, which is the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
So it's crazy. I don't know. Because he's only
this article doesn't seem to address it, but is that $100 million in state funding?
It would have to be, right? Because he's
I don't know. I'm not sure.
If he's proposing, I think it would have to be.
Yeah.
Unless he's trying to get a grant from the federal government to increase
this
their funding.
announcement came during a broader rollout of DeSantis' plan to bolster Florida's National Guard. So yeah, I don't know. That'd be, let's see, DeSantis.
Interesting.
But and just some quick facts, right? Real quick. What is this? So the National Guard, which again is dual controlled by the state and the federal government, it owns somewhere around. Crap, where is this? It's a crap ton of property. $1 billion in federal property within Florida state.
Jeez.
Within 55 communities.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And its main headquarters in St. Augustine.
This is the National Guard?
Yeah.
Okay. Holy shit.
So they own $1 billion worth of property.
Yeah.
Or
I thought you were just talking about the military in general. Because there's a ton of bases here, but
yeah, but that includes
so that sounded small at first.
But that includes armories and all that stuff, and which is what he's trying to bolster as well. I think within the $100 million.
Yeah,
he's adding 3 armories.
Our girl Nikki Fried, she tweets, "Can't believe I have to say this, but Florida doesn't need a paramilitary force that only answers to Desantis. Millions of Floridians know what it's like to live under regimes like this and came to our state to escape them. This must be stopped." I love that word, paramilitary.
Yeah.
Like, it's used so much, and it's like, what does it even mean? You know?
Yeah.
Because wouldn't like a National Guard be considered paramilitary in a sense?
I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck a paramilitary is. Do you?
It's not a full military.
Parachutes?
Yeah, I think
That's what I thought. I thought it had something to do with
they just jump from planes all day.
an unofficial force organized similarly to a military force.
Oh, so like
Well, I guess that's pretty accurate.
like a militia or something. Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find anything in regards to if this is state funded or.
Yeah, I would think it would have to be since he's the one kind of pushing for it.
Yeah, I mean, where's he getting the money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says he's announcing the budget, so it's like part of the Florida state budget proposal.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
So let's talk about the drug thing. What is it that he's
I guess the National Guard has their own counter drug.
Yeah, he's going to implement a new National Guard headquarters for counter drug programming. So
That sounds exciting.
yeah, again, what does that even mean?
Yeah, right.
It's a new headquarters.
Yeah, what does the National Guard do with like drugs? You know, because it's not like they're like police where they're out like patrolling and
shooting people with weed.
yeah. I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and then like the Coast Guard would be stuff coming off the coast.
Yeah, I know the Coast Guard.
So that
also
wouldn't really
deals a lot with
be
drugs. But
that wouldn't be like National Guard.
No, I mean they're pretty much National Guard, right?
Yeah,
They don't
I'm
really do
looking
anything.
into it here. Analytics.
I don't know.
Okay, so for 25 years, the National Guard has managed the premier counter-drug program in the nation, assisting law enforcement agencies and community-based organizations in their efforts to reduce the supply of the demand of illegal drugs. The Florida counter-drug program implements intelligence-driven, effects-based operations to ensure personnel and resources are leveraged in support analytical support. Counter-drug analysts focus on 4 core competencies: link analysis, document exploitation, commodity/financial transaction analysis, and drug trafficking case construction. Reconnaissance, counter-drug, aerial, and ground intelligence-driven operations facilitate interdiction efforts and conduct pattern of life analysis. Training. The multi-jurisdictional counter-drug task force training program provides comprehensive training to combatant commands, Department of Defense personnel, federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies on subjects targeting to Civil Operations Program. Counter-drug Civil Operations Program provides a coalition support and development to anti-drug coalitions through all 67 Florida counties through embedded partnerships with counter-drug communities based on organizations. The Civil Operations Programs. Yeah, so it sounds like they have more of a supporting role, right?
It's like a surveillance, right?
Right.
Sounds like surveillance to me.
Well, that's what it all is. It's all analytical support, recon, which is surveillance. It sounds like they do some training, maybe with some units, and then
propaganda.
Yeah, civil operations programming. Yeah.
Dare.
Yeah, they run Dare.
But yeah, that's crazy, man.
Waste.
Certainly could do without that part of it, right?
Yeah, it's like I bring it up all the time and I get shit for it, but whatever. But it's like DeSantis, if he does these things, which like if he was just doing the state guard, yeah, again, it's state, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's more decentralized than the National Guard for one, and it's way more decentralized than anything the federal government's going to give us. Mm-hmm. Which is like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, you know, let's put this up, and you know, everybody can make the memes about it, and then we can get a treaty going with Texas, and we'll take over the DC. That's awesome. Let's live in that world. But then it's like, you find out the back end of this is $100 million of taxpayer Floridian money going to bolster up the National Guard. It's just like, what are you doing, man? Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
I wonder if this,
He's being a politician, yo.
I wonder if this Florida Guard is ever going to like get off the ground.
I mean,
even though 100% should, because like we already said, like half of the existing states already have these forces. Why wouldn't Florida have one?
Yeah.
Out of all the fucking states in the country,
right.
Florida is like the state you would expect to have one.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Reminds me a lot of like the whole Minutemen thing, you know, back in Whenever the fuck that time was.
The Revolutionary War.
Yeah, that time.
I think that was it. But did you see it when he was making the press conference for this? He had that flag, the Gator flag.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't see the video of it.
So,
but even in his own words, it sounds more like this is going to be a
supplementary.
Yeah, so like a supplementary force, but not like it doesn't at all sound like he's intending for this to be some sort of like armed military force. Mm-hmm. This is more geared towards having like more of the civilian population trained in disaster response and relief techniques and stuff like that.
So medics like Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Medics with guns.
No, I'm just
but I mean, like you said, like in natural disasters, which obviously we have pretty regularly in hurricanes.
Not this year, baby.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Knock on wood. Knock on some wood.
We've gotten too lucky.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years in a row that we've haven't really gotten anything.
Yeah, there's definitely like a pessimistic mindset with hurricanes. It's always like, this is going to be the year.
Yeah.
Well, and then like we get by and we're like, oh my god, we were lucky.
Oh, that's because
next year there's going to be 5.
Yeah.
The news every year is like, this is going to be the worst year in history for
Florida.
Florida.
It's always that news. It's always the same thing.
Like, by the way, Florida season has been extended by a month. Like every year it gets extended by a month. Eventually it's going to be 13 months long.
Yeah. So, and in that situation, I mean, my dad was in the National Guard, and during Andrew, that's what they did. They went down to Miami. They lived down there, and took care of people and stuff like that. So, I mean, it definitely that role is definitely like a legitimate role, but they're not. Yeah. They're not doing anything. They're not. They're just providing like FEMA and food and making sure people aren't looting and things like that.
Well, yeah, that was something else. Desantis said in his own words is this is something that gives him the flexibility to respond to these emergencies and disasters, kind of free of any government red tape.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which I think is good. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, I really don't. And certainly you wouldn't either if you were in the situation where, like, your streets are flooded and people decide to go looting and things like that,
right.
Mm-hmm. So, whether or not we need to pour $100 million into it is another story. But
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't even know how much they're proposing.
Well,
make the budget for that.
For this specific thing, it's only $3.5 million.
Oh, right. Sorry, that's a different thing.
Wow, that puts it into perspective.
Yeah, right.
Like how much $100 million is.
The 3.5 million one's getting all the news, but the $100 million is getting nothing.
Well, he's saying that the state guard would only consist of 200 volunteer civilians.
Huh. I think that's like starting off too. So who knows if he's got plans to like within 5 years
that
make that 20,000 strong, banners and.
That's a cool acronym.
I'm
though,
guessing
FSG.
that's. Oh yeah, FSG.
Oh
baby.
shit! Look at that, dude.
Shit, they got a patch already. Oh wait,
I'm gonna get one for my plate carrier.
It was active from 41 to 47.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys mention that earlier?
Yeah, I did in the beginning. Yeah.
Okay.
You were taking a big hit off that Stogue.
Yeah, I was a little busy over here. That's cool though. No, go ahead.
No, yeah, I just want to just before we get off this topic, just to kind of reinstate and kind of figure out why people are saying, well, the National Guard's there and everything. It's like, again, it's dual controlled by the federal government, and when we say that, it's because the National Guard can be called to an action to supplement the Department of Justice, Congress, and I think the Security of Defense.
So like whenever Biden, recalled a bunch of the surrounding states' National Guards to go to the Capitol for like a month or whatever.
Which Florida did.
Florida, yeah.
Oh, really?
We did that.
Yep, DeSantis sent guys, and he also sent guys to the border.
Texas.
Recently, like within the last
4 months.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't remember that.
Again, that's if people are like, well, we got the National Guard, but if we want things more decentralized, that's 3-4 federal government agencies that can grab the Florida National Guard at any moment.
Yeah, and it's like you can't exactly count on that force to be there during a disaster when, we're in fucking like 8 different wars, half of which are like secret and people don't even realize they're existing.
Yeah.
And then, National Guard guys are just getting sent overseas to fight in these wars, and then, where are they when the hurricane hits?
And it was actually a lot bigger from 41 to 47. It's 2,100 plus.
Yeah, I kind of
now we're only doing 10% of that.
I want to see DeSantis get those numbers up real quick.
Yeah, got to pump those up.
20,000 strong.
Need like 5 legions about.
Yeah. I want
5 legions across the Rubicon.
I want Sabatini to get into his ear too. We need the drummer boys back, the flag guys and everything.
Yeah,
Nikki Frieder just crap herself.
Yeah, we'll just
those
marches,
blue coat uniforms with the triangle hats.
Yeah, and there's marches everywhere. Just for whatever reason, just military
did you guys
marches.
See, speaking of marches, did you guys see that Patriot Front group that was like marching in DC this past weekend?
Was it all feds?
Yeah, it was all feds. Like
Patriot March?
Patriot Front is what they were
Patriot
called.
Front.
It's like an FBI like barbecue outing.
A bunch of guys in like plaid shorts and like aviators.
Yeah, no, there's a picture right there. It's these guys are all in fucking khaki slacks and like blue. They're definitely feds, like 100% feds.
It reminds me of that meme. It's like, yes, hello, fellow citizen.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Does that one guy have a Captain America shield?
Yeah, a lot of them had shields. So I'm pretty sure this group has actually been pretty active on the West Coast, and they like constantly get in like fights with Antifa and shit. Do you remember when there was like,
I like that because they get into fights with Antifa, they're labeled as a white nationalist hate group.
Yeah.
But when Antifa is like, burning businesses down and killing people in the streets, they're just
mostly peaceful.
Right.
Peaceful.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like something that's a little. I mean, I've seen some of their stuff, and they're definitely like retards. But I don't know. I don't know if they're feds or not. But
Reclaim
it seems
America.
like something that would be orchestrated by some people who want excuses.
I mean, I guess my own opinion on these things is just like, if you're going to actually be part of one of these groups and not one of the feds that are just trying to entrap you into it, like, you have nothing going on. Like, I'm not saying you're a loser, but
pretty damn close.
Yeah, pick a hobby.
That's the thing, is they're going out there to
you're not doing anything.
To like get in like stick fights with Antifa.
It's LARPing.
Yeah, literally, it's LARPing. They have like
they got shields and little sticks.
Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? It just makes no sense.
It's just
go do something productive.
Like the right answer to like Antifa, right?
Yeah,
it's the same type of thing, just on the other side.
Well, yeah, it's
really.
like
kind of like the Proud Boys.
They're the
same stuff.
Yeah.
They think they're alliance. They think the Antifa is the come on, wow, guys, what's the
sheep?
No, alliance and
the rebellion,
the Horde.
Oh,
they think the Antifa is the Horde, and they're just going LARPing, fighting each other, PvP.
Right, they both see each other as the good guys in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I could just see it's almost like a cult like thing. They probably have a leader that gets like real pumped on like, we're gonna change the world and like we gotta go do these things, and
he asked for like $20 a month.
I picture their meetings to be a lot like a Gary Vaynerchuk kind of thing,
Yeah, exactly.
Where they're saying and shouting a lot, but they're not actually really saying anything.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
They're all just like a bunch of dudes that
we're gonna take back America. All we need is $20 a month and physical access to your wives.
Yeah.
I wish that wasn't true.
Gary Vaynerchuk, dude.
That guy's hilarious.
Man.
But you know what? It's the same thing, just on the opposite side of the coin, right?
Yeah.
But you have the the corporate press coming down
retarded.
on one and not the other.
Well, that's true too, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's the only difference.
these guys are white nationalists, and the other ones are mostly peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have anything else to say about Dumbledore's army?
No.
Yeah. I feel the same.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's kind of just one of those things that there's like a whole bunch of media press just because of the optics of it, but in practice, it's not really going to be anything.
Yep.
I mean, think about what is 200 people. That's like 67 counties. That's like 3.5 people from each county,
right?
Four people from each county, less than 4 people. So
like 3 drones could take that out easily.
Yeah, it's like what does that even really do? So.
It would certainly be interesting to see like what he does with it, though. Like if it actually grows and it does become something that like could actually be like a a force against like natural disasters and things like that.
Yeah, because during the whole like Surfside building collapse, I think the residents there requested it, but they had like some like Israeli like disaster relief team flown in to help with that. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, it was weird. But like you read the list of the people who died in that collapse, and it's like all Jewish people pretty much because that area is just like heavily yeah. So
and I mean,
I guess
in Israel they're probably like used to like buildings falling down on people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was about to say. They're like, hey,
well, yeah, these guys are supposedly like world class like disaster relief guys, so they flew them in like day of, and
right.
They're like, hey guys, we bomb like schools over in Palestine all the time. We know how to get bodies out of here.
Like if anything, we know how to do this.
We've seen some shit.
We've seen some buildings fall on people.
They're like, oh, you guys aren't used to seeing bodies amongst rubble.
Bodies pancaked against
Oh man,
we're here.
Oh, Nick, what do you think? Next topic, one of the smaller ones.
Yeah, I guess we could break it up. I don't know. It's just, I guess there's not really much to talk about with this one. Just kind of something worth mentioning. To
Hell on
kind of
wheels?
reinforce our beautiful police state that we have. Tucson, Arizona, police said Tuesday a Tucson officer would be fired after video showed him fatally shooting a man in a motorized wheelchair while confronting him over alleged shoplifting. Surveillance video on Monday of the Monday shooting shows Richard Lee Richards, 61, entering a Lowe's in a wheelchair before an officer, later identified as Ryan Remington, fires his gun 9 times at Richards' back and side. Richards was pronounced dead shortly afterwards. This video, I'm sure you guys saw it, right?
See, the other side of the story on that is this guy Richards was a really dangerous criminal. They called him Hell on Wheels on the streets, and he was just taking people's lunch money out there.
Yeah, dude, from his power wheelchair.
Yeah, he was known to stroll through the Lowe's and get real close to people's toes and just crunch on those bad boys.
Oh, freaking Hell on Wheels.
All while swiping the gum at the counter.
He would just go in reverse throughout the entire store, so it was just beeping the whole time.
Making everybody's anxiety
Absolute
levels
menace.
Slightly higher. Can we play the video?
We can. It'll just be sound, and you'll hear just how many bullets he put into this guy.
I mean, there's probably a couple people who haven't heard this. So
I got to connect 1 second.
It would definitely work better if we had, video to see it. But
I think Nick
you can look it up. For yourself pretty.
Nick,
no, I'm saying if
for the listeners, right?
Yeah,
but you can look it up. It's it's Tucson police officer wheelchair. It'll pop right up.
Yeah. Just give me a second.
Yeah, Google loves these videos for some reason.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen this.
Turn the safe search off so you can maybe.
You haven't seen this?
I haven't seen this. I haven't really done much, but
it's pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
Warning: graphic content.
Yes.
Because we're connected, it's not gonna.
Won't come up on the sound.
Play the sound.
Yeah. Shit. How didn't we've done? Oh, here we go.
Just shoplifted. Like in front of me, pulled a knife on me. He's currently westbound in the parking lot.
I need an additional unit to Bravo 18 at 1650 West Valencia Road. We're going to be 1039.
He's just following this guy throughout the parking lot.
Yeah, so something worth noting, this guy Ryan Remington was working off duty at the time as security at this Walmart. And then Taylor, where the hell's her name? The actual responding officer that was on duty at the time, the actual on duty cop that responded, where the fuck is her name? I just seen it.
Taylor something, I don't know.
Officer Stephanie Taylor responded, arriving at the scene as Remington was approaching Richards near the Lowe's entrance. Footage from her body cam warrant shows her run out of her vehicle and towards Richards. And then I'll just play the video because you'll be able to see everything or hear everything from here.
So this guy was a security cop at Walmart.
But no, he's also a police officer.
No, yes,
right. But
he was there at the Walmart when the guy supposedly shoplifted Walmart.
Yeah,
and then was doing an easy stroll over to Lowe's next door.
I guess. Yeah,
yeah, just cruising over there.
Okay.
White Hat. We're in front of the DD's discount. And Bravo 1A. We're currently northbound on Oak Tree, going towards the Lowe's. Bravo 15 to
He's like
185.
walking next to him.
He's in front of my loss prevention. He
He's
pulled
just
a
slowly
knife on
following
loss
this
prevention
guy.
while I was right there. And Bravo 1A. We're
He's
on
literally
the
right next
side
to the guy, like on
Lowe's
top of him.
in the
I haven't seen this
parking lot.
video.
We're just west of Oak Tree.
Yeah, me neither.
Still going southbound.
He's literally walking peacefully next to this guy.
We're just cruising.
They're like best buds.
And then this is Stephanie Taylor's view as she arrives.
It'd be worth it to hear the gunshots.
Yeah, pay attention to the sequence of fire that this,
Yeah.
Not going to the store, sir.
Stop now. You need to.
Holy crap.
Oh, they don't show it in this video.
Yeah, they just kind of.
You heard the shots though.
Yeah, that's all you needed to hear. So the guy is going into the Lowe's like garden section.
His back turned.
And his back is turned. He's just slowly cruising into the store. And
Another
then
thing worth noting from this angle, look at the line of fire.
Line green.
Oh, what is this?
Line green. Stop line.
You can just turn this shit
yeah,
off.
I think
at
you
this
have to
point.
click on stop.
Let me try to find another video because
Okay.
Well, it's not like anyone can fucking see it anyways.
Yeah.
But
Just explain what happens.
so the guy's going in. He's going into the Lowe's Garden Center, and then the male cop is like on his back left and pointing at the guy's back. And then I guess the guy going into the store was like the last straw. That was where he's allowed to kill him. And so he just shoots him 8 times.
here you go, Book.
And then there's like a half-second pause, and then he shoots him again a 9th time. And the guy just keels over, falls out of his fucking chair.
And then he just fucking blows his brains out that last one. And then watch the angle from the Lowe's because there's a woman that's standing like right in this guy's line of fire.
Yeah, if he missed any of those shots, he probably would have been hitting that lady.
Dude, imagine walking out
See
with
the
like
woman here? See the woman here? So the guy that shoots him's right here. You can see his, the light
he's
from his...
diagonal from this woman.
Yeah, these
Definitely-
rounds are hitting right here.
Definitely
Yeah.
within line. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Like he has no idea who's behind those
And then look,
barriers
the
because
audacity to...
he handcuffs him.
I mean, you gotta make sure, right?
You just shot him you shot a handicapped dude
zombie.
9 fucking times.
Yeah,
Holy crap, dude.
that's a rough one.
Jeez, dude.
Man,
we have one
it's just
That's a rough
brutal.
one.
Imagine walking out with a succulent and this guy gets blown away. Holy crap.
I can't there's nothing that you could tell me about this shooting that would justify that.
Oh no! I mean, the guy
Not
was
in a million
turned.
years.
His
That
back,
guy's going to jail.
his back was
He
faced.
has to. If he doesn't, I was going to say there'll be riots, but no one cares about white people, so...
Yeah, it's an old white guy.
Yeah,
Holy crap, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Jeez.
Definitely encourage people listening to go check
Hey,
that out if you haven't seen it. 'cause-
WLM, man.
What would?
Jeez.
You can't figure that out?
No.
White Lives Matter?
Oh, I thought it was like what would Rittenhouse do? But no,
Wow, that's wild, man.
hey guys, we gotta fund our police, you know.
But see, it's interesting because, like, if that was anybody else, that girl Stephanie Taylor would have handcuffed him, right?
Right.
I mean,
And-
the guy's moving at what 2 miles per hour?
No, I mean handcuff the cop that just fucking murdered that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was like
Wait,
a
no.
per-
If
a
that's
person-
anybody else,
Oh, okay,
he's saying,
a
non-person.
he's saying
Yeah.
because it's a cop,
Oh yeah,
he gets away with just like blasting this
even if it
handicapped
was
dude away.
even if it was like a private Walmart security guy that wasn't a cop,
oh yeah, for sure.
he would have been like in jail that night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. No, I mean, there's no way to justify that. There's really no way. I mean, like, you think that she was just like utterly shocked when that happened?
Yeah,
had to be.
She was like frozen.
She was
'Cause
like,
he
"You
walked
just
up and
blew this
handcuffed
guy
him, and
away."
she's just standing there like, what the fuck
Wait,
just
he just
happened?
loaded 9 shots into the guy that's
Yeah.
moving in front of you, back facing you.
That just killed me when he unloaded 8 times into that guy, and he's just like keeled over, and then he's like, pop, shoots him one more time.
Yeah,
I'm
right
like,
in the
what
fucking-
the fuck?
Dome.
Do you think he knows that's like the last one in the chamber? He's like, might as well get rid of it.
No.
He probably had like 16
He probably had
or
a Glock 17 or
Oh,
something.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, gun guys.
Boogie's like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's so funny to see, like, the bootlickers on social media that are so fast to, like, jump to conclusions under any other circumstance, but then this one case, they're like, well, we need context here.
Yeah.
Context?
Like,
There's a guy rolling in low.
you have all the context you need. There's a handicapped guy in a power wheelchair, and you just watch him get shot 9 times in the back.
Not only was he just rolling into Lowe's, his chair was definitely set on fucking turtle mode. Like, that thing was going slow as shit.
I mean, again, if you watch the
guy didn't even have to break into a brisk walk to keep up with him. He's like literally like
the first video we watched, he's walking next to him throughout the parking lot.
Yeah. He had to like pause and stop walking at some points because he was going too fast.
If anything, just like unplug his batteries, right? Just be like, all right, bro, we're stopping.
Literally, like if he's gonna unload into the fucking chair. Like, the battery's right on the back of it.
That was also something I thought. I'm like, man, if you're that gung ho to fire your gun, just shoot his fucking electric wheelchair.
Yeah,
like
he can't go anywhere.
Yeah,
literally.
what is he gonna do?
So what if different universe, right? Cop gets into one of the ones that's part of Lowe's and does a chase
through Lowe's,
a high speed chase
through the yard section.
You know what though? It's funny, but it's almost as ridiculous as what we just watched.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I mean that is.
I thought
insane.
that was a scene from Family Guy.
It could have been, right? It could have been one of Peter's flashbacks.
Yeah. Damn,
Holy
dude.
cow.
Jesus. Yeah, that's
if
not good.
Well, anybody? You said you saw people like in some way like trying to justify what just happened.
Not necessarily justify it, but like the typical line like, oh, we need more context. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what could you find out about this situation that would make you go, oh yeah, it makes sense why he shot him 9 times in the back.
You make context before we throw him in a jail cell for the rest of his life, but like still
like
should be
even
there.
if this wasn't like an elderly man who clearly like could barely walk, like if it was just a perfectly healthy person doing the same exact thing, like it would still be
terrible.
Unreasonable
right.
to fucking unload shots on him in that situation.
Yeah, even if you could walk fast and run maybe and just decide to sit in a chair that day. Like, I mean, it's just totally unreasonable just to...
Yeah.
But I just like, because what you said, Nick, I can just imagine like some really like dumb folks just like talking about like, oh, well, he's a thief and he deserved it, or something that's so stupid.
Right,
you hear people talk, and you're like, do you listen to the things you say?
Basically the Ahmaud Avery case or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or Avery, whatever it was.
Ahmaud Arbery.
We talked about it last week, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, oh, well, I shouldn't be hanging out with drug addicts or,
Right.
like making up some dumb,
And just to remind people, this is coming from 4 people who, I think it's safe to say, respect our private property more than your lives, right?
Oh yeah, for
so
sure.
So like, again, people like always be like, oh, libertarians, what are you gonna do when someone's like, it's like, yeah, like if someone's like threatening my life or threatening my property, like in my home, and like I'm telling them to stop and they're not, yeah, I feel like I have the right to protect myself, and that means lethal force. Mm-hmm. But nuance comes in these things the entire time, right?
Right.
This is a guy, like we stated, going 2 miles per hour, back turned from a police officer who visibly, during that video, showed no threat since he was walking next to him the entire time. Like, if you can't see the nuance in this, like, I don't know what's going on. Because, again, I'm someone who I believe if someone breaks into my house and is, say, doing the same thing as that guy's doing, and maybe...
you imagine that guy,
the guy robbing your house in a powered wheelchair?
I would just tip him over and let my dog just eat his face.
Can we stop referring to him as a dog?
Yeah, the homeless guy that I feed twice a day. But yeah, so again, it's coming from, like, I would say most of us saying, I respect my property more than your right to steal it.
Yep.
This is still like nuanced. Looking at this, there's always nuance in things. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that guy was basically, as Florida guys, that guy was basically doing like the most Florida thing ever, just shit-faced cruising through the Lowe's parking lot.
Was he drunk?
Motor chair. I don't know. I made that part up.
The way he fell once he was dead, it kind of looked like he was drunk.
The way he fell when he had no more control of his
and 9 holes in his body.
Yeah.
Holy
definitely
macaroni.
looked drunk.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that'll be like the first
that's rough,
sentence
man.
in the report.
Yeah, that guy surely will get
yeah, they sent that blood and over
Yeah,
to like tell me that guy was on drugs, please.
Yeah, just give me something.
You know, and if anything, there is something to be said about like body cams, right? In this situation, like we know what happened in that situation because of the body cam,
Right.
and I'm not gonna say I don't trust police officers but surely
Cameron,
they can't
go
necessarily
ahead.
always trust police officers.
Go ahead, say
but,
it.
But I mean, they could be like, "Oh, this guy stood up and he had knives. And he could walk all of a sudden, and it was a karate master, you know, and he was swinging blades or whatever."
Stood up, you got a 12-inch cock come right at me.
Look at the last two paragraphs, Nick. They're talking about his criminal record from when he was a teenager.
That's what I'm looking at.
One of them's attempted first-degree murder.
Hey, dude,
so there's
karma's
that.
a bitch, right?
Yeah. So I don't
Brick
know.
P. Stortz
Maybe
the
that was-
third, a lawyer who had recently represented Mr. Richards, he's the gentleman that got
Ventilated.
fucking smoked.
Mr. Richards.
Yeah, this lawyer represented him in criminal matters, including a charge of transporting illegal immigrants. Said his client had a lengthy rap sheet dating to when he was a teenager that included being charged and convicted of attempted first-degree murder. Mr. Stortz described his former client as having many physical problems, clearly, that caused him to be in a wheelchair, including a hip replacement operation and some infection problem. He said the shooting of Mr. Richards was horrifying and over the top.
Brick P. Stortz, the third, might be like the most Wild West name.
Yeah.
Brick P. Stortz. Nice to meet you.
He used to be the sheriff of Tuscan.
man.
Tuscan.
Damn. So yeah, guys, trust police all the time.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. It was just so bizarre, he said. I could understand how he could maybe be a problem. Oh, okay, never mind. I read that wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Wild stuff, bro.
And before we get off the topic, just to reiterate, he was off duty. The police officer that shot this guy 9 times.
Yeah.
Oh, he was on it, bro. He
His
was
civil
on
duty, dude.
Civil duty, my ass.
He was, he was protecting the people.
And this is why I don't believe in the whole
Immunity.
fallacy that police are out to kill specifically black people. Because you see this shit all the time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
All the time. It doesn't matter the race. Cops are just they
Yeah,
just have this.
just unfortunate
They
that
have this license to kill in this country, and
a certain race
people are getting tired of it.
proportionally does more. Yeah.
We can get into that
13%,
next episode.
something. What?
Yeah.
Something.
No,
about
again,
13%?
52%.
Yeah, 52%, and they only make up 13%.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I'm just
Yeah.
I just
Top of my head.
yeah. So I don't know anything else to say on that one.
Yeah, dude. Freaking.
I mean, we can sit here and make jokes about it all the time. How about the fact that I've never seen a Remington shoot more than 3 times without jamming?
Yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
gun jokes. Haha.
got jokes. I love it.
Well, you want to make fucking post office jokes?
I want someone to re-edit that video and put him in a like you said last night, Cam. What's that game? Twisted Metal.
Twisted.
Oh my god! He's shooting missiles out of his wheelchair.
Oil slick.
He dropping mines.
Yeah. God, the internet used to be so good. What happened?
I think it's gotten better in some aspects.
Some aspects.
Yeah.
It's a lot more porn now, huh?
Huh?
I guess if you look for it.
Dude, I mean, I feel
I
like
wouldn't know.
that was one of the major things that started the internet. Was like, not
yeah.
started it, but I mean, porn has been around in the internet.
Yeah, it's
since the
freaking.
beginning.
Apparently, it was I don't know if this is true, but apparently it was like the first like job. Not porn, but like like that.
Yeah, the oldest job in the world,
Oldest
right? Whatever.
profession or
Yeah,
whatever.
profession.
But that would
professional.
imply that like how did people make money to buy this? Like what really was the first job? You know?
I would
That's
probably
a topic
selling
for
your
another
body
day.
But yeah,
for sex.
Yeah, but how did the people have money to buy this sex?
I mean, you probably give them a goat so you get milk.
yeah. It's definitely
some corn.
a goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
10 years of corn.
Like,
and
you can
the
have
goat.
some of my goat.
I mean, if I'm in like the middle of a desert and all I got is my mouth, I'd suck some guy off from a goat.
Jesus. You know, it's funny.
For a gallon of
or
water.
It's funny because you guys were just talking about porn, and I was like, yeah, I guess if you're looking for it, you don't even really have to look for it now. Like, this is just the
It's
ass.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's just, this is the norm now. You know,
Hey,
advertising.
dude,
like,
a woman's body is not porn, right? It's art.
yeah. So why can't, never mind. So yeah, we want to get into this one here. Ron DeSantis wants to hand out taxpayer dollars to businesses that defy vaccine mandates. I'll be the first. So my hot take is, why the fuck should I have to pay a business my money for doing what they should be doing already?
Yeah, that
True.
sounds. Certainly headline sounds cringy.
Yeah, that's the thing is like.
Well, it's a CNN ad
incentives-
too. We're reading here.
Oh, true.
Like, if you're using tax money to create incentives, you're just doing what they do all the time, right?
Right.
You're just stealing money from other people and rewarding other people for being good little boys.
Right.
Like the right way to do incentives is creating tax breaks.
Exactly.
Um,
Which everybody should have permanently.
yeah, 0%.
100% tax break on all your taxes, always.
Yeah. So if you look into this a little bit further, this is again kind of Daddy D, Mr. Desantis.
Flex.
Yeah, he's flexing because this is him saying,
Bust
if-
right out of that suit.
yeah,
See it?
yeah, come on. What happened to your military training? Too many frickin' Cuban sandwiches. But, no, so again, this is him flexing because this is something he's just saying, I would assume, because I didn't watch the conference, but off the cuff saying if the federal Biden administration's vaccine mandate goes through, he wants to put this in place so then if they get fined, the businesses, for not making their employees vaccinated, he could pay those fines via taxpayer money from, apparently, he found a loophole to use COVID relief funds that were given to him. So, again, is that going to happen? It doesn't look like it since there's 3 courts attacking the Biden administration's vaccine mandate from different funds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
it's still crazy to see, governors like, Murphy, since he was just recently reelected, or not reelected. He was elected in. Or no, he was reelected. Governor Murphy, he's been the New Jersey's, anyway, he just passed a mandate saying that all private sector workers have to be vaccinated.
I thought New York did that. Did New Jersey do the same thing?
Well, I thought Governor Murphy was the New Jersey governor.
Dude, no one cares about New Jersey.
So if I was in DeSantis's place, I feel like what I would do instead of this tax benefit thing is I would just say that, if any Florida, just make a statement saying if any Florida company is fined under the Biden mandate, that we're not allocating any resources to enforce that mandate. Like, if you want to enforce it, you got to send the fucking IRS agents down here.
Yeah.
Or whoever the fuck you're going to send.
And then we'll make
and
sure...
we're going to stifle everything they do.
Oh, I'll say we'll send that cop at the border, just waiting.
Shit. Him and Kyle Rittenhouse.
But, yeah. So, again, this is, I think, a little bit more flexing. And I'm with you guys with the statement of, you're just kind of doing what the left does, but in the opposite direction with my tax money.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that. Looking into this a little bit further, it was interesting to see that with COVID, obviously, right? It's been hugely politicized for many reasons. But one of them that the article, again, the CNN article actually brought up itself was Florida and maybe a couple other states, like in the Midwest, they passed so unemployment benefits would continue even if you got fired because you weren't vaccinated. So this is coming from a governor who I don't think is a big push to say he's going to say he's a small government kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the biggest welfare kind of guy, but he passed a bill that made sure that if you were unvaccinated and you got fired, you continue to get unemployment benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's good or bad, but that's kind of like ironic, right? Because you probably have New York and California doing the opposite, where they're not probably covering people who are unvaccinated and getting fired.
Yeah.
I think they're giving more benefits to people who are vaccinated.
Yeah, so now they're the small government people?
Yeah,
That's what you're
it's
saying?
weird how, again, this just kind of shows that everybody's not really small government, big government, they're all just government.
Yeah, and they selectively reward the people who do what they want them to do.
Exactly.
With that being said, if we do have to pay taxes, I rather see my tax money go towards, people. But then again, I don't know, I'm trying to find a way to, somehow bridge the gap between, absolutely hating this and being I guess I can kind of see where he's coming from, but I don't think I can, because I was going to say, if we are going to have to pay taxes, it's cool to see that our taxes are going to go to these businesses that are doing the right thing, but they're also being DeSantis has already put so many executive orders in that area already. So it's like they're not really making this decision, right?
Yeah.
Because they can't do the
they
vaccine
really can't.
mandate already. So, and now we're going to pay them for not doing that?
And I think
can't?
that's why it's such a flex, right? Because it's just one of the things that sounds really good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no route to he kind of set it up to where there's really no possibility that any company is going to enforce vaccine mandates,
Right.
which is a good thing in our view. But what's the unseen consequences of this money going
Yeah.
to these places, like being taken from everyday people and just being put towards these causes.
Yeah, it seems, it almost seems like he's trying to work within like a faulty system, and you'd like to almost see him be like a pioneer of like a system that is not within that system.
Yeah.
Just be like, we're just not going to let you do that.
But like we said before, Desantis isn't a libertarian, so.
Right. And that's true.
He's very much a Republican.
Yeah, and as fortunate that is, he's the best we have, which is scary and great at the same time.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, I don't have any real, like, big complaints. Like,
Most of the complaints are, like, just us being...
Yeah, just being libertarian assholes, just breaking down everything way too fucking deeply.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I used to live in fucking New York, so, I'll take DeSantis over Cuomo every day of the fucking week.
And I think, again, if Nick looked this up, I think New York, de Blasio just passed his own mandate statewide.
Private
business.
New York City.
Is it?
Yeah, because de Blasio's the mayor of New York City. So, yeah,
I can't remember.
New York City, it's every private business has to.
That's what I was reading then. I confused him and Murphy. Because Murphy also did something recently, but it wasn't this broad of a brushstroke here.
Yeah, everyone, even children 5 to 11.
Yep, so this was posted December 6th, so today. Mayor de Blasio today announced major expansions to the Key to New York City program, the first in nation vaccination mandate for workers and customers at indoor dining, fitness, entertainment, and performance venues. Starting December 14th, the program will require children ages 5 to 11 to show proof of one vaccination dose for those venues. Starting December 27th, New Yorkers aged 12 and older will be required to show proof of 2 vaccine doses instead of 1, except for those who have received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Wow. Because that's the only one that actually had any lasting effect.
Yeah. Well, because it was
it was a single dose.
Well, that, and it was actually a true vaccine. It wasn't this mRNA gene therapy shot.
So it said starting December 14th in there, but then
the second dose was September?
Also said December 27th, so it will take effect December 27th. So that's kind of confusing.
Well,
see that next paragraph.
Well, yeah, because it was 5 to 11. All right, so starting December 14th, the program will require children age 5 to 11 to show proof of one vaccination. I'm assuming
that's for
that's
venues.
Because
that's for venues. The 27th is for the private sector
proof
workers.
Of 2 vaccines instead of 1, except for those.
Private sector workers will have to be vaccinated, all of them.
Yeah, that's in here. Let me read it. Let me keep reading.
Yeah, that one's on the 27th.
But when was the second dose needed by?
So the venue law goes into effect the 14th, and the mandate for private sector workers goes into effect the 27th.
Okay,
but he's I think the election is in January. So this is an interesting move.
Yeah, before
right now.
They do their election in January?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw somewhere that people are expecting him to be out in January. So
de Blasio? No way. That guy's so good.
Yeah, it's great.
He's so connected.
What's his real name again?
Oh yeah, it's like William Schmerbert. It's crazy.
Oh, William Schmarkersberg.
Warren
Wilhelm Jr.
It's crazy because I think his original name is better than his fake government name.
Yeah, his original name. He wanted to seem Italian.
Yeah, he sounded way too white.
You know, he's like, "Oh, New York, yeah, I'm a freaking Italian," you know.
Yeah. I touched the cooch, okay?
Vote for me, I got the cooch.
I'm just Italian.
Yeah. It's not rape, I'm just Italian.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
It's horrible.
Yeah, not to
Is
get
that a photo of him with the afro down there? Is that him when he was younger?
Dude,
I will
if it
shit
is-
myself if that was him. Dude, what? Oh my god, he's high as fuck.
Dude.
No, dude, it's just the cameras
that
back
is him.
then.
That is 100% him.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
What the fuck?
He kind of looks like someone who would
He's a
eat
child
people
of
after-
the 60s.
Yeah, look, he eats people.
Yeah. He used to eat people. Not anymore.
Dude, imagine if that guy was our president.
Oh my god.
Blasio?
Yeah.
I mean,
He ran, right? He was in the running?
I
think so.
It was Bloomberg.
Yeah, it was Bloomberg.
Yeah.
You're right.
Bloomberg.
fucking guy wasted so much money,
Yeah.
but still is.
Yeah, he
So much more
wasted
money.
like 0.1% of his fortune.
Ugh. So yeah, the DeSantis tax relief for people who are going to defy vaccine mandates. I don't know. Seems like a flex. At some points, good thing he's doing that. Like I can say, hey, you're moving in the direction that I would agree is better with more, less government overreach. But you're doing it with government overreach, so it's kind of in a weird position.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's only applicable if the OSHA thing goes through, which doesn't look like it's going to.
Yeah.
So, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's I mean from the beginning it was pretty obvious that wasn't going to go through, but
Now, my question is with a lot of these federal courts ruling that Biden has no authority to do this,
Yeah.
why are companies still listening to their local governor, like these mandates?
I think de Blasio might be the first. I could be wrong, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
yeah, I don't know.
'Cause then it would go to the state.
It'll probably take fucking 2 years for them to rule on this shit, and by that
Yeah.
time it'll be like, well, I don't know. It'll probably still not be over.
But
The whole COVID.
have you guys
shit.
seen that? Since all these it's 3 courts now that have struck down Biden's
Yeah,
mandate.
dude, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, but I think more have come out. Maybe 2 more or 1 more.
Oh, really?
Regardless, it's just funny that he's posted or said now, hey, even though the
Yeah.
courts are saying not to do it, I still want you guys to do it.
Wow. That's just like
That's paraphrasing, obviously,
yeah.
because he didn't even write his own statement. But yeah, it's crazy that he's still like, hey, we should still do this because I said so.
Yeah. Man, that's fucking insane.
Because if it was Trump saying something like that, the media would be all over it saying, "What the fuck?
This is a
The legal system has already said you can't do this, and you're a dictator."
our democracy and
Yeah,
our
right.
judicial system.
That's exactly what
He's a Marxist.
Yeah.
He's this. Yeah.
it's a fascist.
A fascist.
Totalitarian.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
He's just like Putin, right? They like to connect him with that.
Well, because they're buddies, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sucked each other off in that hotel.
You know, Putin would have killed Trump within 3.5 seconds.
Putin's a badass, dude.
He is, dude. It's just-
I wouldn't fuck with that
I
guy.
hate the fact that he is.
Trump would just pay someone else to fuck.
In our
Putin.
past,
He'd hire George
4
St.
presidents
Pierre.
have been disabled.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Anyways, this guy's pretty much made it impossible to live in New York City without the vaccine.
Right.
Yeah.
But, dude, it's not a mandate.
Which, yeah, I mean, the
It's not
biggest,
forced, bro.
I don't really care what the fuck happens in New York City. What pisses me off is that like all these people are going to come down here now.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thankfully, they all go to Miami, which just makes Miami more of a shithole.
Yeah.
So it's like less likely that I even go within 50 miles of that place. But
Yeah. Yeah, that place sucks.
I hate Miami with
I wish it was like another
everything
way
in
to
me.
like get around that place, like while driving. I don't even like to drive to that place.
do you guys wish? Just hear me out here. This is just me thinking.
Oh, God.
You
I feel
know,
like it's gonna be a terrible idea. To
Yeah,
listen to this.
let's hear it.
you know the Christmas parade that had the guy. Well, not the guy. I'm sorry. The car that went sporadic and killed 6, 7 people.
Oh, yeah, the SUV that
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah.
so-
No one was driving it. It was just a rogue. I think it might have been like a Tesla SUV.
Yeah, I think that's possibly what it
So
was.
that
A
SUV.
Model Y.
Do you think that that would have happened at the Basil thing?
Art Basil.
Art.
I feel like that would have been like a more like I'd be like that's understandable.
Yeah.
It's art. It would have just been art, I think. I think some people would have been confused. They would have thought that it was like
That was an art
an art demonstration.
The other people that died were like part of the art. Like, wow, they really did that for the art. That's great.
Wow, they're really
Dedicated.
selling it.
Someone took a picture of the
They're
dead
really
and
committed
made an
to
NFT
art.
out of it.
An NFT. Oh my god.
An FT?
Art. I mean, I've never been, but it seems like just a cesspool of morally bankrupt degenerates. You know.
What is
That
that?
sounds
Miami?
The whole art. Well, Miami as a whole, but also that like Art Basel, Basel.
I don't even know what that is.
Basel.
I didn't know what it was
Out of
until this year.
Basel.
Yeah, I guess it's like a famous art like event that happens, and it started in Basel, Switzerland,
Okay.
and then they started one in Miami, like in the early 2000s
Oh,
or
really?
something.
Art Basel is a for-profit, privately owned and managed international art fair staged annually in Basel, Switzerland, Miami Beach, Florida, and Hong Kong. Art Basel works in collaboration with the host city's local institutions to help grow and develop art programs.
And that's where. Do you guys remember when some guy duct taped a banana to the wall?
Yes,
that
and
was-
sold it. It was at the Miami one,
Yep.
like
That
a few
makes-
years ago.
I would definitely agree with myself then about the SUV.
I mean, honestly,
Like,
I
look
want
how
to go.
dumb some of this art is.
Yeah, I
Like,
want to go
what
just
is
to
that?
fucking like laugh at it.
Bro,
like,
you just
in
don't
person.
understand. That's
Like, I
art.
feel like me and Nick would get thrown out of this place so quick because we would just be standing there laughing at this shit.
Yeah, take
And
me
just, like,
back.
Out loud talking about how fucking dumb half this shit is.
Like they literally hung 2 rugs from a ceiling, and that's art.
Nice. Check out that turquoise circle.
Oh, on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Beautiful.
So art.
Oh, there's a red circle.
I literally feel like I'm looking at like, my.
Look, there's just pictured like framed pieces of paper that are just different colors.
Yeah, framed pieces of like construction paper from fucking like second grade.
that looks like my
Those
nephew's
jeans.
elementary school's art display.
Yo, isn't it funny that there's like a whole industry built on this? Like people will look at that and be like, "Wow, the artist was really trying to tell us something here." It's like,
That's a nutsack.
yeah, no, that's just like no, that's
Sir,
just
that's
a
a-
pillow, a fucking pillow in the shape of a butt plug. Like,
I
People like
I
us.
wish listeners could see this shit because it's just like
it's
ridiculous.
literally just wood. That's wood. It's just wood stumps.
I mean, some of it's like there's like real paintings and stuff.
oh,
but,
see,
like-
that's cool.
Oh yeah, Yoda. There you go.
Yeah, I dig that. That's kind of cool
I feel like you can buy that off Etsy though.
for sure.
Yeah, they just like
That's
screen
literally
printed that
Etsy
shit.
artwork.
Oh,
just
they literally have a butt
Oh,
plug.
there's
Look at
another
this.
butt plug
Yeah, a giant butt plug.
with a bow on it.
Oh, it's like a Batman cat.
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean, I'm not an artist, so I don't really, this like you guys. It doesn't really do much for me to look at any of these things. You know?
Right.
I mean, I do like museums and things like that, and I think art like probably has a place, But
Yeah.
it's like you have to.
But it's like, yeah, I don't know. To me, like art is definitely super important, and especially like just in society and stuff.
Yeah.
But historically, it's been like, the art actually meant something. and it
there
was
we
like-
go.
Okay, yeah,
that's a good one. I can get behind
funny
that.
as
That's art.
that's a good one.
Probably the best one I've seen.
yeah, no one can
We
see
won't
this,
go.
so we
yeah,
gotta
we won't go into detail on that one. I don't think any of us are allowed to say what it said. So
You want me to say it?
no. But anyways, yeah, no, I think it has a
that's
place.
hilarious.
I think it's important.
That's hilarious that it says capitalist decadence on the wall. That's like a art piece.
At
literally-
a for-profit.
Yeah, at a for-profit art place where people are buying bananas duct taped to a wall for $5 million or however the fuck.
Right.
Like, you want to talk about capitalist decadence. Also, fucking Hunter Biden's artwork. I've heard that's pretty nice.
As much
Sells
as it's selling it,
exclusively
right?
to China.
Yeah, what a scam, though. Like, I feel like this is, like, one of the best ways to launder money. Like, I feel like the, cartels are really missing out on
I've seen a
untapped-
lot of interesting takes about art this year. I saw a guy wrote an article about that, about how art is like, he was like, art is like the main way that people launder money.
really.
I could totally
Because
see that, because
you
you
just
can't...
make some random
It's so
fucking piece of
subjective,
art,
right?
and it's
Yeah.
totally subjective how much it's worth, and
Yeah,
so then
right.
you just get paid whatever
Yeah, right.
they want to pay you. It's an interesting concept. It probably happens a lot.
Yeah, there's something to that too, but it's also like people like at some point in their life when they have enough money, they just really get into like buying some of these like
Yeah,
I could see, though, like, I could understand buying, like, a Van Gogh or like something like that. You know what I mean? That makes sense to me. I understand that.
You're just
but
not
like,
into this kind of stuff.
this like interpretive art that's like not really art, but it is somehow. Like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
I just want to buy all that gothic Christian art where people
look
are
at
just
that
dying
gas.
on crosses for like.
Yeah, that
have-
stuff's intense.
Have that around my
Yeah.
house.
Like Renaissance art.
Yeah, like we've been scrolling
Dude,
through
that
this now
gas
for a
sign-
while, and that's kind of cool. But there's
gas
been
sign
like
has
2 or 3
gas
things
for $2.80. What a joke.
Yeah,
What a
I've seen like 2 things that I'm like, oh, that's cool, and they weren't really art; they were buildings. Like,
right.
I don't know. I guess it's all besides the point, right? We're just not art guys. It's not for
Yeah.
us.
Not art guys. So yeah, on that note, we're not art guys.
Yeah. So next time SUV wants to plow through people, maybe Miami Art Basel.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm not an art guy. I'm just not this type of art.
Yeah, that's a better way to word it.
Yeah, me too. Because I like art. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm
Yeah.
into it. But
I got-
Is this art or is this just 2 people taking a picture?
I don't know. I think that's art.
Yeah, it's an NFT.
Is that Caitlyn Jenner?
Yeah, it kind of does look like
Bro, her forehead is massive.
Yeah, I was listening to this show. It was called History on Fire. And he's talking about this artist, Renaissance artist, Caravaggio. Dude, that is like... That's
How do you spell it?
it's intense, huh?
Yeah, look that up if you're listening.
We
That's
froze.
some of the most just like realistic art I've ever seen. It's freaking badass.
Yeah, that's the kind of art I can get behind. Like that girl that that works at the shop that does like insane portraits.
Yeah,
she's
that's
done like
cool.
the one of Morgan Freeman, and they look like black and white photos. They're incredible. That shit's
look at
like that's talented to me.
Yeah.
Caravagio.
Is that a back of a throat?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have to agree with you on that. I mean, some of this stuff is like super silly, you know?
Yeah, they're-
Caravaggio. The Italian guy?
yeah.
And there's so many different forms
Yeah.
of art too, like people who do like leather
If you
working
just go to
and
images
stuff
of-
like
yeah,
that too,
yeah.
which is also like some pretty sick stuff, you know?
Yeah, people
But
do.
that's
Yeah,
also
see, like,
art.
this stuff to me is incredible.
People do
Like, this
OnlyFans.
is insane.
Yeah, it's like I guess his style with the like shading and stuff is like
the really dark background.
yeah. And like the way the lighting is and stuff is just like it looks so realistic.
Yeah, he's
He's
sick.
like, bro, you got a third nipple up in that bed. Yeah.
They're looking at Jesus' scar after
Yeah,
he just
probably.
resurrected.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
He's fingering it, isn't he?
Yeah, it was most of his art was Christian, religious, or it was
He's like, Jesus, you think I can fit
mythological.
my dick in
Well,
there?
this is probably like Timothy, right? Like checking like the holes in his hand. That's probably what that is.
Sure.
No, it's
Yeah,
it's
I'm not
crazy
sure.
how
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
the old Christian art's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is.
And then now I don't even know what they do. Besides pump out child molesters.
I could probably see there's more to that.
Probably. But I mean, it's the Vatican, you know? What are they doing?
Yeah, that's something too that's like super interesting. Like the idea of like the Vatican and like the stuff that it has.
That we don't know of.
They have so much.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
they have like tons of secret archives.
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
Tom Hanks is
Yeah,
in there.
that's like
Tom Hanks. is in
that's
there.
Damn, that
interesting.
one's
Like
sick.
yeah, Medusa.
That one's badass.
Yeah, his yeah, that is sick. Yeah, the expressions in the paintings are really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely check out Caravaggio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get video on this shit.
I know. We're like...
Yeah, this is gonna be weird for people.
20 minutes of this podcast, they're going to be like, this is doing nothing for me.
Yeah,
Let's
hopefully
move
you're
on to
not
the next
driving,
topic.
so you can actually Google some of this shit.
Yeah. All right, next topic. 20% of Vero Beach barrier island septic tanks fail inspections. Many convert to step systems, which I know nothing about. Do you know anything about
Me
this?
neither. I'm not a.
I think it says it
wastewater
within the...
It does, all right. Vero Beach, 1 in 5 septic tanks on the barrier islands have failed mandatory inspections. During the inspections and pump outs, which the city requires every 5 years, 19.4% of beachside septic systems have shown signs of failure, potentially sending pollutants into the Indian River Lagoon.
That's Dookie, folks.
Yeah,
Poopy, poop a butt, poop, pee pee.
And a lot of times these things like fail like often, and like it's pretty unreported on.
Yeah.
Like they're just pouring shit into the river.
Right.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Also, the people in the sailboats pour shit into the river too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because
Fucking sailboat fuckers.
it's like a task, right? To like empty some of their tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
And so they just, just kind of like open up the hatch and just kind of like
Squeeze one
let
out.
a couple turds fly out, and then you're good, And then I drive by and it's like there's
floating.
just shit floating everywhere.
That's disgusting.
It's
So-
disgusting, but it happens.
The reason why I picked this is because if you've been a long-time listener to this podcast, you know we are huge fans of the lagoon. Seriously. Maybe not big
We
fans of
love the
manatees.
lagoon. Yeah, the manatees are fucking it all up.
And this it was interesting because we've had, obviously, within local politics, a lot of talk about a stormwater tax. What are we doing to keep the lagoon safe? And, make sure it can heal itself, blah, 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 whatever, government paid scientists want to say. And it was interesting because, an idiot like me would think, we're at Cam's house right now. My house isn't too far from here. We're probably, 3 miles from the river?
Yeah, I would say about 3.
3 miles, right?
Yeah.
I would think my septic tank, which I'm not on because I'm in city, but still, even if I had a septic tank, and septic tanks, I could be wrong. You guys might be able to correct me. They're made to leak slightly, right? So it's like organisms.
They have drain fields, so
Yeah.
all the solids sink to the bottom, and then
Organisms eat them, and there's some stuff
Yeah.
that gets through, but it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, the
To a
stuff
degree.
at the top gets
Yeah.
flushed out into the drain field, and then it just leaches into the ground.
Yeah. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but this far away, I would think whatever leaches from my septic tank would filter through the ground to a degree. And, some of it obviously would get to the river.
Yeah, if you're not if your septic tank is nowhere near like a drainage ditch or, because as we know, all the canals lead to the lagoon or whatever. But most of the stuff it's like the like sediment and stuff that gets pulled down. I mean, it takes. Depending on where you are, it would take a pretty big storm to actually send that stuff all the way to the lagoon.
Push that shit through, as some would say.
Yeah, exactly.
But so my point is I would think, and it's probably pretty easy to say, that these people's type of things have a multitude higher magnitude of effectiveness towards the river.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If
Because
they're
some of them are literally on the river.
well, no matter what on the island, you're within a mile of the river.
Yeah,
or
and
the ocean.
Also their soils are just
Sand.
pristine beach sand material that just
Lets out
the
things
liquid
poop out.
just flows right through that stuff. So yeah, it gets to the river really easily.
So I thought, again, I just thought this was interesting because a stormwater tax will obviously affect all of us. But if 1 in 5 out of, I would assume it's whatever they've done this year, failed, I feel like that has such a higher impact on the lagoon than, somebody 3 miles away from the river itself.
Right. Definitely.
But we're all going to be affected the same, possibly by a tax.
By the tax, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or
this
like
is-
the people. Well, I guess the people out west wouldn't be the city.
And this is something. I'll try and word this properly that I can convey my point because I just thought of it. So, all these septics are put in following the county's code, right? They have their own code that they, you have to put in your septic tank in a certain fashion. They look it over and they either, say, yep, it's good to go, or nope, it's not good to go. So, all of these septic tanks at one point had to be approved by the county, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means,
And on the island there, nothing happens without permits.
Right, yeah, the island building department, the island has its own building departments, and they're super strict. I've had to deal with them throughout the years of just doing construction and stuff. So whatever their code was, obviously wasn't sufficient, right? So, but now they're going to impose this tax on us, and now we're leaving it back up to the county to protect the lagoon when they already demonstrated that they can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is kind of like the same argument that you can make against the Army Corps of Engineers. They've done a lot of they've instituted a lot of policies and things and construction and things that have been really bad for the environment.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, they had a lot to do with the stuff that pours into the Everglades and the Port St. Lucie and things like that.
Yeah.
Where it should have, kind of naturally, ran off into the Everglades and things of that nature.
Yeah, but they just installed levees like all the way around the fucking lake.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I mean, a lot of this stuff was government instituted stuff, but not to mention that a lot of it had to do with like, a lot of people blame Big Sugar and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's bureaucrats and people who are paid to, argue for certain things. It's all government, right?
It's another example of a government solution to a government-created problem.
Exactly, which is something that we bring up all the time.
Right, but the problem is the government solution is always with, like, every single time it falls on us to pay more.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Which is bullshit.
Well, and not only that, it falls on, like, the entire, and this is the kind of the point that Brookie was just making, is that, like, it falls on everybody to pay.
Yeah.
Like, if your shit is failing,
literally, your shit is failing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, you should have to fix that one.
Right.
But why should I get taxed or Brookie get taxed when we're miles away from the...
And this was the point we brought up when we talked about, I think it was like episode 3 or 4, where we talked about the beach nourishment project. It's like, okay, so I have to pay all this money
so that your land doesn't
yeah, so you can take a shit on the ocean from your bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. When we brought that up, there's obviously better solutions to the way that can be managed with like a bigger dune system with like plants and stuff that holds the sand there, but they can't if your house is literally right there.
Yeah,
because if there's not more sand, like your whole house is going in the ocean.
Yep.
But somehow like we have to pay for sand to be there.
Stop right there. Wait, go up a little bit. So there's this like above the advertisement. There's this sentence that's like, so the Marine Resources Council produces an annual report measuring the water quality level of seagrasses and if the conditions of the lagoon is improving. So Suto, I guess one of the officials, he says it looks like your water quality is going up and down a lot, but it is either staying steady or getting better. Not sure what he means by that. But then he says, but something is killing your seagrasses, and we need to figure out what that is. We already know what it is. Dude, it's the goddamn manatees.
Sudo's got to call us, man. We got to eat.
We got the answers, Sudo.
Open season, brother. Open season. I wonder, and we should have looked into this more on that episode, but I wonder what role the manatees have in the ecosystem. You know how everything has like a certain role?
If they died, what would happen?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I would suspect not, right? Like, what do they really do?
I guess there'd be some, like, bottom feeders that wouldn't be able to feast on their massive corpses. But other than that, I don't know what else.
Yeah, I don't either, man. There's a lot of them, too.
Some white girls couldn't, like, take pictures of them on their own boats?
That would be the biggest, that would be the biggest thing, is that Instagram would suffer. There would be no white girls in kayaks petting manatees.
Yeah.
It'd be very sad.
Yeah, it definitely adds to the issue of the lack of seagrass. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I totally believe that you have these, like, 1,000-pound monsters swimming around eating your grass. That's an issue, They're
saying that the seagrass would become obstructive.
It's like, well, we have no seagrass, so it sounds like we need to fucking get rid of them.
Right. That's literally the whole reasoning here.
Yeah, that's all. As I'm reading this article, that's the only purpose that the manatees serve in our ecosystem, is they keep seagrass growth at bay. But we don't have any of it, so...
That.
Well, it's like, guess what, bitches? We do that now.
Yeah. We got jet skis, motherfucker.
Yeah, right. And assholes.
Tear that shit up ourselves.
Right.
It's called a population growth of magnitudes.
No, it's an issue, man. It is.
So,
just issue.
While you guys are talking about that, it's kind of interesting, right? Because obviously hogs are a big deal throughout most of America, even more pertaining to like South America or like Southern America. Texas would be
Southern
included.
North America.
Southern North America. And, they're not naturally here, so people have no problem going up into helicopters and just blasting them, which I think is awesome, right? Because
I like the ones where they have like feeders set up with tannerite.
Oh yeah, and they got the freaking night vision.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, I'll get a video.
But
keep talking about
so we have no problem doing that. for the most part, right? There's obviously PETA people who would jerk off those hogs before they die, whatever they want to do. Good for you. But we understand they're not naturally here, and they destroy everything. They will root up all vegetation. They will destroy anything that farmers have. They're just a nuisance, right? But because they're not natural, we're okay with killing them, like from a moral standpoint.
Yeah.
But for some reason, these manatees are doing the same thing to a certain degree within our...
And we have some moral objection to it.
With our limited grass beds that we have. But yeah, exactly. Because they're natural to the area, we have this moral obligation where we can't just destroy them.
That's a box of tannerite, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so now Nick's watching a video of a hog about to get blasted.
Yeah, blown to smithereens.
Yeah, there's a block of tannerite on a stick, and I'm guessing there's like corn all over the ground or something.
Yeah.
And he's gonna shoot that thing, and that hog's gonna explode.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I didn't think tannerite was that powerful. Oh, he's right under it.
If you got enough of it.
He's right under it.
I mean, I don't know what tannerite is, but it's a thick block.
Yeah, the block's like as big as this hog's head.
Holy cow.
Oh, he's right on it. Oh, my
man.
God.
I mean, this guy has patience.
Oh, no. He's got his boys. Oh, they got spooked.
No. There's so many of them.
Oh, my God.
Dude, this guy's got patience.
No.
Like, he does this a lot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this isn't his first rodeo.
Hog's like, what's this? What's that?
He was sniffing
It's
the
like-
block of tannerite.
I
It's
would've-
like Thanksgiving dinner, bro.
I would have blown that thing as soon as the hog was underneath it.
God.
Oh, my God. The noise is horrible, bro.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to listen to that, bro. Turn that off.
I think this is Peter's favorite video.
Oh, my God, dude.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that one's writhing in pain.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to watch that.
I think there's definitely a more humane way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That one was a little rough. I'm all for dealing with these things, but that was a little much. That was a little much. Even for me.
That's not great.
That's not great.
Hey, dude, when you're at war,
When you're at war with the hogs,
Yeah.
man, it really does feel like that sometimes.
this guy's
though.
cabbage fields got fucked up when he's like,
Yeah,
these
he's
hogs
like,
are getting...
Oh my God.
Dude, are they meaty chunks?
Yeah.
Oh, that last. Oh, wow.
See, this guy used enough tannerite to alleviate any suffering.
3
Yeah.
pounds.
to literally disintegrate this pig.
Like, it's just pieces of pig all over the
Yeah,
place.
no, but you know what? That's much more humane than what we just watched.
Yeah, he did not use nearly enough.
No.
Yeah.
That's why when...
Oh my God! Look at
my
the remains of that thing.
Yeah,
dude.
he didn't think twice about what just happened to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like when the federal government bombs kids. I'm like, as long as there's enough, explosives in
Oh my
it
God.
Yeah, as long as it's a 2,000-pound warhead,
that just incinerates them within contact.
Oh my God.
just the whole wedding party,
Yeah, that was insane though. Holy
Yeah.
shit! That
Look up
first one.
tannerite pigs. Google it.
Jesus.
Google it.
But,
Google it. Google it.
No, but yeah. So I don't know. I thought this.
No, he's telling the
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, I just thought this 20% leakage from the island and within Indian River County was, again, just a theme we've been running through since we had the podcast about the lagoon, because some of you guys enjoy its beautiness.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
beautiness.
Beautiness. Yeah.
Beautiness.
That word.
Yeah.
That word. It's a beautiful.
That we all know.
But
Anything else going on?
Biden's supposedly still alive.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
I gotta look that up. Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah,
Kamala Harris
Make
is-
sure real quick. I don't want
Joe Biden still alive? Question mark.
Kamala Harris is still one of the most hated vice presidents in the
Wikipedia
world.
says he's still alive. I don't trust that source, though.
I don't trust that source.
Christie.
Is that Chris Christie?
Chris Christie says that...
Joe Biden is
Joe Biden's
officially dead and buried.
Huh.
Do you get upset whenever you see Chris Christie? You could have been what's that? Damn it, dude! I'm messing up my own thing.
A sumo wrestler?
No, the funny guy that unfortunately passed away because he's humongous.
Chris Farley?
Chris Farley. Chris Christie could have been a Chris Farley.
Yeah.
By looks itself, right?
If he was funny at all.
If he was funny and not a schmuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he went down the path of a politician.
Yeah, and you can't be funny and be a politician.
He's always wearing very ill-fitting things as well.
Look
well,
at
I
that
don't
picture.
think anything could
I
possibly
was about
fit
to
him
say,
normally.
he's shaped like
He's
a
got the
freaking-
biggest fupa I've ever seen in my life.
This is the same guy that
Look up Chris Christie.
this
This whole episode is going to be like shit that we should have on video.
Yeah.
But look up Chris Christie in a fucking baseball uniform.
Oh God.
Oh, God, I
He
don't
looks
wanna
like
see
a
this.
fucking
I'm like
absolute clown.
He really does have a fupa, huh?
That is a sex
his
symbol
little
if I've
dick.
ever seen one.
That's dick, little guy.
That's his
He's
vagina.
got a little camel toe there.
That is not what. That's not real, is it?
No, that one's real, dude.
Did he run for president when Trump was running too?
I think he was a potential
Was he?
Republican
Yeah.
candidate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right because
Trump
Trump put
probably
him in a
blasted
fucking
him.
body bag. I remember.
Dude, this guy looks like this looks like a cartoon sketch.
Yeah, no, in this baseball uniform, he looks like an absolute cartoon. It's fucking hilarious.
This one is the one
It's
that does
certainly
it
not
for me.
great.
That literally looks like it's from a rom-com.
Ooh, it looks like a bowling ball with like pretzel sticks attached to it.
Yeah.
But like the small ones that you get, you know, small pretzel sticks.
Yeah, it's not good.
anti-ants.
It's not great. I don't love looking at it.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad as what they did to those pigs.
Oh, that's what it reminds me of. The guy from Jimmy Neutron.
Oh.
You see him right
Yeah,
there?
God.
Yeah. There's a resemblance.
Yeah.
The
I wanted to
redhead
say
kid.
Goddard, but that's his like electric dog, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. But yeah.
I don't know. What
I don't
do you guys think?
Much has been going on. Unfortunate, the holidays bring in a slow stream of political
Yeah.
news for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, not to go into more COVID bullshit, but I'm going to go into more COVID bullshit.
Bring it on.
I've been noticing a lot of like the main news outlets and stuff are reporting on increased cardiovascular
Yep.
illnesses
Saw that.
due to post-pandemic stress disorder. So they're trying to like paint all of these cardiovascular issues as a result of post-pandemic stress disorder and other things. And
we said that was
they're
gonna
also-
happen.
Yeah, and they're also downplaying myocarditis and saying, I read one article on Popular Science, I believe it was. If you type in Popular Science myocarditis, it'll probably pop up. But they were saying that basically myocarditis is not really a big deal. That like if it's the actual viral version, it's more dangerous than the version that you would get if you're from a vaccine. Because I guess whenever you get it from the vaccine, usually it only affects like the outer tissues. So it's technically called perioditis. So they're just kind of downplaying what it is, and I just thought one of the funny arguments they made in this article was they said that the CDC doesn't even classify it as an actual disease because it's a viral infection, and it goes away within like a week or so. It's like, huh? What else?
Right? Is this it?
What else isn't classified as a disease by the CDC and goes away within a week or so?
Yeah.
Coronavirus itself,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a viral infection.
Right.
So
We said we almost verbatim said this is exactly what they were going to do.
yeah,
You know,
they
were going to try to push to get
attention.
right. They were going to try and push as hard as they could to have a very little control, meaning that people, unvaccinated people, and then there was when there was the inevitable spike in this heart conditions. You had no control, so you can't attribute it to one thing or the other. And that's exactly, granted they didn't really get to the 100% vaccination or even close, but
Hey, they tried.
But now because they don't have, the absence of a control, they're pinning it on whatever they can.
In what world did they think they could eliminate the control entirely? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
They've obviously never been to Okeechobee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's just crazy. I think we talked about it last week too. Just for like a COVID segment real fast. Is the fact that Florida has still the lowest rate
Yeah, it's
of
because
COVID infections?
It's because they're not testing. Is their excuse?
Yeah.
But so what? So what? Did Florida all of a sudden stop testing because we had the #1 rate at one point?
Yeah. And even then, wouldn't
so
our
were we
hospitals be
testing
filled?
then, and now we're not testing?
Right.
Is that what happened?
Apparently, Chris.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I guess that makes total sense.
And again, I'm not saying like, oh, next summer we're going to be fine. Like, who knows? This Omicron, Terminator variant may come through and infect more people that haven't gotten COVID yet, or even maybe some who got the first wave. But
I saw
it
a
seems like
report.
it's pretty
I'm gonna have to look it up on DuckDuckGo to find the
low.
actual. But I think it was like 50% of Omicron positive.
Nobody's died of it yet. Of the
Yeah, I
Omicron.
saw
Well,
that.
yeah, that's the thing.
Supposedly,
It's
right?
apparently a very
I
mild.
saw a pretty good meme. It said, "Fun fact." It was that Skeletor meme.
Oh, Alec
Comes
Baldwin.
in, he's like, more people have died of Alec Baldwin than have died of Omicron variant. Until next time.
I love
Hey,
that meme.
hey, speaking of that, what he said, he didn't actually pull the trigger.
Yeah,
That was his whatever the
Yeah.
hell that
but
means.
the thing with that is the three major firearm safety, the fundamental firearm safety rules, they're designed in a way that even if you neglect two of them, they're supposed to be fail safes against each other, right?
Yeah.
So it's don't point a gun at somebody.
Right.
So
Treat
even
every
if it
firearm
shoots
like
on
it's
its
loaded. Yeah, and what's the last one?
Put the safety
Uh,
on.
Alex like
Mag dump into trash.
Mag dump into trash.
Safety always off. Finger always
on the trigger, and you have to point it at your penis.
well, like make sure, be aware of what you're pointing, like behind
Yeah,
the gun, whatever it's called.
The
Oh yeah, beware your target and what's beyond it. Or
Yep.
something like that.
yeah. Treat every
Come
firearm
on,
like
guys.
it's
I
loaded.
don't even shoot guns.
Just don't point it at people. It's
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, regardless, if you don't point the gun at anybody, it doesn't matter if finger on the trigger. That's what it is. Finger always off the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. Treat every gun like it's loaded, and never point the gun at somebody.
Yep.
If you neglect two of them, doesn't matter which two, the other one will protect itself. If you're pointing it at somebody and you're neglecting the fact that it's you're not treating it as it's loaded and your finger's on the trigger, doesn't matter. You're not pointing it at somebody.
yeah.
And inversely, if you're pointing it at somebody but your finger's off the trigger, you're not going to shoot him. Like, and you're supposed to do all of them, obviously, but
And also like just like a misfire that happens without the trigger being pulled is very rare. Like it would have to be just a catastrophic failure in the firing mechanism of the gun. And so the gun he was using, I think it was a single action revolver. So basically what that means is that while you're pulling the trigger, the hammer is being pulled. Like the trigger pull action is pulling the hammer back.
And I think he even stated within his last.
He was pulling the hammer back.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't pulling the trigger. He was pulling the hammer back.
Which-
So you're providing the action that the trigger provides without pulling the
Which
trigger.
is most of the, I would assume the resistance when you pull the trigger is pulling the hammer at the same time.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. For a single
In a
action
single
revolver,
action, right.
anyone who's fired a single action revolver, you know that the triggers are very heavy. Like it takes a good amount of force to pull those triggers compared to like modern rifles. And
because
stuff.
the hammer needs that force to strike the primer. So when you're pulling it, you're pulling the hammer spring, which is very heavy because it needs to be. So you really have to pull the trigger to get the hammer back. Same thing, if you're pulling the hammer back manually, it takes a lot of force. And what I suspect, and we'll see as this goes on, or maybe we will, who knows? This story could just completely disappear.
Likely.
What I suspect is he was being a dickhead about it, pointing the gun where he shouldn't have, and he pulled the hammer back and it slipped, and that can set a gun off, and that's not, he said, "Oh no, I never pulled the trigger." Fair, maybe you didn't. That's a fair statement. But it doesn't mean the gun just went off by itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like the.
And it's
SUV.
it's a single action, so you can't pull the hammer and lock it back.
Yeah.
Right.
It falls.
Right.
Yeah.
No, like that's kind of like the. I mean, I'm a noob.
Or wait, no, that would be a double action.
But like
Never mind.
with the old cowboy where they do that, they kind of like
Right. Yeah.
the same kind of
That's
thing.
what
Right?
they were.
kind
They
of
were
just like
single
hit-
action
yeah,
revolvers. Yeah.
sling the
That's
hammer back.
exactly it. That's
exactly the move.
That's the
right?
type of gun that you would see like in a Western movie,
Yeah.
Right.
where they're like, pulling the hammer and releasing it, and
Right.
they never pull the trigger, right?
Right.
But their intent is to shoot the gun because they understand that the hammer dropping on that round is going to
Fire the gun.
to fire it. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, and I think, as this case goes on, and
Yeah, he even said right here, I guess in the interview, I let go of the hammer and the gun goes off. I never pulled the trigger.
yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no shit, you fucking
That's
retard.
how the gun works.
Yeah.
yeah, but
And this just goes back to the
Yeah.
point we initially made.
But she has
Why-
no understanding of guns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the same guy who will be the first to demonize gun owners.
Right.
Yeah,
And guess what? 99% of responsible gun owners have killed less people than you.
True.
With a gun.
Yeah.
See, they're calling it a misfire in this article.
And
It's
wrong,
not a misfire.
right?
It's a negligent discharge.
Right. Yeah,
So-
we did away with that term years and years ago because
Yeah.
there's no such thing as an accidental discharge.
Yep.
And who know, as this case goes on, who knows what's going to happen? Like you guys mentioned, it might go under the rug, which hopefully it does not. But it's something to think about. And there's probably tons of videos on YouTube you could look up of Alec Baldwin has a pretty intense anger problem. I know I'm no psychologist. I'm no ophthalmologist.
What?
Not
you, sorry.
Yeah. And who knows what happened? As this case goes on, hopefully more of the truth does come out. But if you have anger problems and this happens, it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like he's on record with shouting at his 11-year-old daughter, calling her a pig.
Yeah.
He's on video shoving a man against front of a car, which that guy's a cuck for letting Alec Baldwin, if anyone, shove you in a car. And he's punched somebody, I think, right, in video too?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I mean, this guy obviously has a history of letting anger get to him. So even if he didn't mean to kill this person, I've done this thought experiment in my head, and you guys let me know if it works or not. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio whatsoever, but if this happened at a gun range, this would be pretty similar. Like, it'd be like, oh, this is like, maybe unintentional manslaughter, whatever it's called.
Right, yeah, but you'd be facing those charges.
Yeah, exactly, right? And the reason I say gun range, because they're using real guns. They know they're using real guns. So I would assume the same steps occur, right? Because you'd have to make sure whatever you're doing, you follow the, 3 steps. And you would think he would have to do the same. Even if, he's told you don't have to do this. Okay, you're on a set. They tell you that. Is that still within, legal standards? Or
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wonder how a court would see it. But, yeah, I mean, any, firearm owner and person who has any just broad knowledge of firearms, even if you're on a movie set, especially in this case where we knew that they were using these so-called prop guns to shoot live ammunition, I mean, I would check it. I'd definitely check it every time. There's no.
And the distinction between a blank or even a prop round, a dummy round, as I think it's referred to in the, it takes, I mean, a blank cartridge you can visually inspect, and there's very clear differences. There's not,
especially in a revolver, because there's a gap at the front of the cylinder where you would see
the
actual bullet protruding through it.
Or if
Whereas
it was
if
a
blank,
it would just be, you would see the crimped front end of the casing.
You could see
and
it,
then the same thing, dummy rounds have a dimpled primer, so that's the actual ignition source for the gunpowder. It's the you look at a casing, the back of it, the little circle, that's the primer. That's what the firing pin hits, and the force from the firing pin ignites whatever's inside there, and that's what ignites the gunpowder. In dummy rounds, those are dimpled, and they put, instead of gunpowder inside of the casing, there's a BB. So when you rattle it, you can hear that it's not a live round. So in either scenario, it takes about 3 seconds to decide if it's a live round or a dummy round inside of whatever you're handling.
Yeah, and so I guess in this article they're saying that these types of firearms, these old style single action
Let me
guns,
find it again,
can be fired with a sharp jolt.
Yeah, right
because since the hammer is forward, and it's not, there's no safety mechanism or anything. It's just you pull the trigger.
It's making
hard,
contact with the
primer.
primer.
It's hard to pull the trigger. So yeah, so the hammer is forward, so it's pressing the firing pin forward. So whenever the gun is just sitting in your holster or whatever, the firing pin is in contact with the primer, but it's not. It hasn't hit it. It needs to be pulled back and smashed forward to be able to set it off. But they're saying that since it's in contact with it, it's possible that you can jolt it hard enough that it would fire. And that's true, but it would need a fucking hell of a jolt for it to actually go off.
I pulled this up here, and it said On average, it takes about 6 pounds of force to ignite a centerfire cartridge. So think about dropping a 6-pound dumbbell from any height, really, and that's the amount of force that you're looking at to strike that primer and to ignite it. And I don't see that reasonably happening without some sort of
like standing there,
force.
just standing there waiting for a scene to start. Like, there's no way you could exert that amount of force on the gun to make it fire without like pulling the trigger or pulling the hammer back. And he already admitted he pulled the hammer back and released it. So that I don't really understand why they're even going into that, because
they're trying to like, just make it like.
They're trying to make
a story about how like it's likely that it could have just gone off. And,
they're trying to make it into a guns are dangerous thing.
Right.
And that he had very little to do with it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, Alec Baldwin, he's not a rookie to this.
Yeah.
He's been around guns in movies for how long? Like, how long has this guy been an actor?
A while.
It's not like this is the first movie scene he's been on. He should know what's going on.
Yeah. And if anybody's like super interested in this, which is probably like nobody of you, but if you are, I watched a good video actually today by a YouTuber called Viva Lafray. He's a Canadian, so
nice.
But he's a lawyer from Canada, and he, in the past I think 3 years now has gotten really interested in like American law and does a lot of videos on what's going on. And he just did one today about Alec Baldwin and how he thinks the case might not have been as what he's saying based on stuff he said. So look that up if you're interested. It was pretty interesting.
Yep.
But I think that's it, guys, huh?
Yeah. We're gonna do an early episode. We got some.
This is still a pretty long episode.
What are we at?
Yeah, I mean, go with it.
Hour 47.
Yeah. Hey, if Daddy D's not making any more armies, we don't got more to talk about.
Daddy D and his army of crazy rednecks. This exciting news.
Crazy rednecks.
Yeah.
Bunch of volunteers.
Yeah, well, shit, that's all we got for you guys. Yeah, bye.